Hey everyone, Dave Ryan, December 1773. We have, first of all, if you're watching Rumble, YouTube, or Facebook, hit the like button, comment below how you feel about newly elected Speaker of the House, Speaker McCarthy from California, where all great conservatives come from. Today we're going to be talking about the Speaker of the House, and I want to talk a little bit about Matt Gaetz, because I think he was the only person who had testicles during this whole situation, including a lot of political pundits who also had no testicles. But for people who don't know what's going on, let's play just a quick clip here just to get everybody caught up on everything that happened.
To place a name and nomination for the position of Speaker of the House.
The gentleman is recognized.
My friends, when Donald Trump was president, taxes were cut, regulations were slashed, energy was abundant, wages were rising, capital was returning from overseas to fund the dreams and ambitions of our fellow Americans, and the economy was roaring.
It's all hate speech.
Contrast to what we have seen from this administration now. And so I rise to nominate Donald Trump for the position of Speaker of the House.
This is the epic fight, Ryan. This is the biggest. Nothing burger gets thrown around a lot. This is the biggest nothing burger I've ever heard.
Look
at this big fight. Just kidding. He barely touched the guy. And I love that Kevin McCarthy walks back. What's he gonna do? That was it. That was the whole situation.
Of the state of California, having received a majority of the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives.
So after all that, on I think the 109th attempt, he finally got it right.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I am not going to sit by while a bunch of people just pompously talk about how great they are to elect them for a position that does nothing. Okay? For the record, this should have been fucking done a long time ago. Okay, I know we're celebrating that Congress is in such a shithole that it takes 155 different billion votes to just elect one person. It took 15 attempts, right? Something?
15
at most since the Civil War or something. But I'm going to hear about how January 6th divided the nation.
It's still divided, you can tell.
This is the newly elected Congress. It's not divided. You guys just can't make up your fucking minds. I wonder why. It's on purpose. There's no way. I actually woke up and it was like a violent outburst or something in the way that lamestream media reported it. And it was just a picture of him grabbing him around.
Right. But in the clip though, all right, so they took the picture and they made it seem like this big thing, but in the clip it was about a 4-second contact. He just pulled the guy away because you could tell in the clip Matt Gaetz, his legs shaking, he's getting pissed off. Whatever Kevin McCarthy's saying to him, he's not having it. And they mouth some words, and then he takes him away. But it was nothing. Nothing happened at all. It was the weakest. I wish it was an actual fight. Chuck Schumer's on Twitter telling everybody, "This is what you get when you have the MAGA Republicans dividing the nation." First of all,
they won. Didn't the Republicans win, Dave? Did they win the House of Representatives?
Yes.
So how are we dividing the country when we have the majority of the country?
Because the party's split, Ryan. There's the ultra MAGA, and then there's the rest of the sensible Republicans. Mm-hmm. People like Kevin McCarthy, who's also MAGA. Now, that's the other thing, is the left can't make up their mind. They're telling everybody Kevin McCarthy's MAGA, but then they're saying that the MAGA people aren't voting for Kevin McCarthy, and it's creating division. It can't be both.
Well, it sounds like a great way to create division, David.
It does sound like a great way to create division. It's almost like that's their strategy.
For the record as well, if that clip, I know it was only a second, if that doesn't show you the lengths of things that they're willing to do to each other over fucking voting. I mean, this is like an award show for those people. That's all that is. But to finish the point about this should have been done, it shouldn't take 15 attempts. Do people realize the third most powerful person in the country was in gridlock for voting for fucking 2 weeks? Like, if the president and vice president, God forbid, something happened to one of those two, I would be just in shambles. I wouldn't know
Yeah,
what
we
to
would
do
never
with
want
myself.
such a thing to happen.
Never, ever. It'd be terrible for this country, and I mean that wholly, because it would be terrible. But the third most powerful person in the country is like, we're not elected yet. It's not good. It's not a good sign. It doesn't show strength and unity to the war we're fighting. We're giving billions of dollars away to Ukraine. We can't even elect the guy to sign the bills that allow the checks to be happening. Because Congress controls the purse, does it not, David?
Correct. You know, people were mocking Kevin McCarthy and the waste of tax dollars because he had the champagne being rolled to his office to celebrate. And it's like, you people realize how much money you're sending to Ukraine, right? This is the least of my worries at this point. The $1,000 in champagne that's going to his office.
This was something else I thought this week. It's a great point, David. I don't even care how much money they spend anymore. I don't. Give everything away. What doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. You're never going to pay it back. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Make it up. It doesn't matter.
We're getting so mad about like this debt and stuff. Like, it's my favorite thing that Ben Shapiro goes, Veep Shapiro here. They don't let him print all the it doesn't matter until we change these people. Arguing about how much money we print to foreign countries is pointless. Like, I don't even care. Print all the money you want, because you're gonna put us in a recession, depression. How long do we see news articles prepping us for a recession? That's finally here. What do you said it wasn't real?
Well, Republicans won the House, so it's here now.
Fuck it. That's exactly.
We said that was going to happen on this show.
Verbatim.
We said wait for Republicans to take over, then the recession will be announced.
Verbatim. That was like, we're like waiting until after Election Day. But it's not going to matter because they don't care. David, I know we're blending topics here, but they were talking about how the United States is going to start looking into digital currencies for like an official currency.
Of course. But it's not going to be it's not going to be Bitcoin.
Do you see how they made fun of all those things, right? They made a mockery of it. They make a mockery of it. Look how dumb this is. Meanwhile, they're building it because they're jealous and then they want to control it, these creeps. Oh, look at us. Yeah, you can't use that anymore. Why? The government said so. Well, what are we going to use instead? The government digital coin. We're your saviors. It's different topics, but it's very relevant. This is nothing more than a fucking award show to these people. They don't care about us, and they're just going to literally just keep printing money. This guy is nothing. Like you said, David, all great Republicans come, all great conservatives, all great. Never from California since Reagan. And Reagan wasn't even the greatest. Donald Trump was the greatest. Motherfucking New Yorker. I'm sorry. I'm over it. We should have Trump as speaker. That is so funny. It's such a good troll, but
it is a good troll. And Ben Shapiro did take to YouTube, of course, to talk about Matt Gaetz and how he didn't love the trolling effort.
Why? Because Ben Shapiro wanted to do it first.
Well, no. Shapiro called it a troll. Said it was a troll, but it wasn't productive, Brian. It wasn't productive. Everyone should just get on board and just get on board, go with McCarthy so we can just get rolling.
Do you know what vote that was on out of the 15 votes that he voted for Donald Trump?
9, 10. It was in that range.
Very productive. So one guy.
Yeah, but don't worry about how many times he lost.
It's just Veep, David.
He only lost because people weren't coming together and getting behind the one candidate.
This is actually the time I agree with him. This is literally a prime example of Veep in our elected house. Like, they're just a bunch of babbling idiots trying to get fucking narcissist points.
Yeah, but you know damn well there's House of Cards in there, too.
Well, how do you think the place became Veep?
Well,
really, you don't build the greatest country ever, right, in the history of forever on people just not knowing what they're doing. It's counterintuitive of success. You have to have competency to be successful. It's not... Like the saying is, it leaves clues, right? Success leaves clues. That's why America is a fucking inspiration at a global stage for every other history of civilization going forward, let alone now. But like, we didn't get here by being bambling idiots. We got here by well-educated people that had a striving, burning desire to be left the fuck alone by authoritarians. and they just want to be able to make money and keep it, or make a life and keep it. And you're not promised nothing from nobody. You have to make it. And we came from bad, like hard people. And then, you know, when you give it over to spoiled children after long enough. Now, granted, I'm a spoiled child too. The 90s were very good to us, David, growing up. Very good to us. Explosion of wealth. You know, the 70s were the oil problems. We were starting to dip out of that and coming in, you know, short of the stock market crash and the Great Recession and stuff. Like, the 90s were pretty good to us. The dot-com bubble, I know, but like the birth of the computer, the explosion of technology, the things we got access to and privy to. Look at the cars our parents drove when we first were growing up. They were still like 1970s, you know, Cutlasses and stuff. You know, I was rolling around in like 1970 and 80s cars. Like, the 90s were very good to us, but it spread spoilty for too long, and now we're pissing it away, which is what happens every time. But we didn't get here by having this type of leadership before. And the fact that we have the leadership now, you know, I don't know if people are that dumb, or the House of Cards is that good that voting, the lesser of two evils, is there's this.
It has to be that good, because where did Kevin McCarthy come from? I mean, like, not California. I mean, in general, like, he came out of nowhere. Like, nobody. How many people do you know who are like staunch conservatives or whatever are like in love with Kevin McCarthy?
I never even heard the guy until this week.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the dude, he was extremely irrelevant, and then out of nowhere, he's got all this support.
Makes me wonder if he's on like Epstein's list or something, and that's why he's able to run so good.
I guess my prediction would be he's probably going to come out. He's going to do some good things early on, but he is going to go the route of all the other House speakers Republicans have picked in the past. He's just going to go right down the same route. He's going to end up being this globalist cop out. It's not going to go well. Now, I guess the good news is one of these rules change packages. You only need the 5 defector rule. So you only need 5 people to defect apparently from the House Speaker, and then they can have another vote, bring up another vote. But what good does it do if you have the same amount of majority people voting for them?
Well, it just showed they're just allowed to vote 20 times.
Yeah, they just keep going until they get the guy they want.
Where is the value of voting if I can vote unlimited times because we can't come together? Third most powerful person in the country. I'm going to make a few predictions on him. He's going to roll over to every global treaty at the UN and everything else, Ukraine, all of this. We're just going to see the same thing, like you're kind of saying. He's going to be Nancy Pelosi light with a fucking elephant stamped over his chest. But I will tell you this right now. As the Trump presidency is developing here in its infancy stage for his next run, come election time, mark my words, this guy will do everything in his power to implode the Republican Party and make sure that they lose ownership of the House like they always normally tend to do during. I think, right, if you look historically, when they flip, the House goes the other way, like it has for Biden, but it also goes the other way for Republicans. A lot of times when they gain the Senate and the presidency, they lose the House. So, but that's from bad leadership. Last time that happened was under Paul Ryan. Bad leadership. You know, something similar, at least during that time. But
that's the thing. That's what I'm saying is I can't think of a Speaker of the House who did anything worth shit in my entire life. I mean, they've almost all been bad experiences. Paul Ryan came out. He was supposed to be this young conservative hotshot. He fucked it away.
Remember when that guy talked about how I was on the Congressional Budget Committee, and the first thing he does is spends $1 trillion with the help of the Obama administration? What the fuck?
I guess the major point is it's going to go south. So we'll play it out, see what happens. But it was nice to see one man, and whether it was a troll or whatever, it was nice to see one person in the House with balls. I mean, you know, there were some other ones, Lorena Bobbitt and everything. They ended up, I think, folding. But
yeah, I'm going to tell you this now.
I'm pretty sure Matt Gaetz held out. There were 6 present votes, and I'm sure he was one of them.
If I were to ever be elected to a position of power and somebody were to think they're going to put their hands on me, I would beat the bricks out of them. I would beat the bricks out of a federal. I don't care. You're going to grab a grown man by his face. You are going to. This is the problem with these people. They're so disconnected. They're so used to having walls and fucking checkpoints.
That's true. Not enough of these people have been in bar fights.
Punched. You know, Mike Tyson has a saying, David. It's fucking beautiful because it works every time. Everybody has an idea until they get punched in the fucking face. Dave Ryan, December 1773.
Thanks,
Catch you
everyone.
guys weekdays, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. YouTube, Facebook, Rumble.
Rumble.
It's the greatest ever.
Thanks, everyone.